Alright, so I figure the best way to do this is just to do it in the project, right? And so this is a definition that really the only difference is that we have to tell Dynamo where the center of this is. And so we're going to draw a line that rests kind of at the top of the ceiling beams. And so these walls I have in here right now, the circle and the ellipse, they go from level 1 to level 2. So I'm just going to draw a line on level 2 that's coincident with the top of the wall. So I'm going to go to my level 2 floor plan, and we're kind of looking down the top of the wall there. If you can't see it, you can adjust your view range, or you can put the range base level at level 1. And so what I'm going to do is go to architecture and line, draw a line from the midpoint there to the midpoint there. And what we want this line to do is set the Z value for kind of the top of the ceiling beams, and also set the center point for the ellipse. And then what we'll do is we'll come over to our Dynamo, and we'll go to select here, and we'll select that line. And what happens is it picks that line and gets the curve element from it and finds the center point of that line. And then it uses the center point of that line to create the mirror plane and also to create the curves for the ellipse. So if I do the run, right, it's going to run, dun, 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 go through there. And if I go to my 3D view, you'll be able to see, right, it's created those ellipses. It's busted through that circle, which is fine. We're going to fix that. It's done the ellipses with the gradient depth, right, from thin to thick. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to my ceiling plan for level 1, and you want to make sure that you're set to medium here and that your structural framing is on. So if I go to VV, make sure you come down and your structural framing is turned on. Alright, so now what we need to do is we can manually come in and pull these back. What I've done is I basically have just split the ellipses on this top part of it into 2 more pieces by drawing a line down the center, the vertical, the y-axis, right, of the center. And I split the curves before I made the extrusions. So anyway, if you come in and you want to sort of pull these beams out, what you're going to do is pick them, and they're for the ones that get shorter, you can use these little arrows and just pull them in, right, and it'll pull them back. If I pull this back, one thing you want to be careful about is there's also a little circle that is a blue dot that you can grab, and if you grab that, it's actually going to adjust the ellipse, and we don't want to do that. So make sure that when you're picking it, you're grabbing these little arrows and sort of pulling it back. So I'm just going to do that for these guys here and this guy here, right, and then I'll go ahead and why not do it for this one, although you may not necessarily need it to do for this one, but it just kind of depends. Now once you get to the ones that you want to extend, it's a little weird. I don't know why this is true, but it won't extend when you pull it. It's like, okay, whatever. But what you can do is just pick them all. So I'm just holding down my control key because of course it's the opposite of every other program. And then you can come in and for start extension, just put in a distance like 7 feet that you know is going to sort of go through what you need, and it'll extend it out, and then you can just pull it back. And I'm going to pull it back to kind of the oops, this one got pulled all the way back. So this one, the pullback is really close, so you want to be careful, because if you get it back all the way to the beginning of the beam, it will reset itself and won't allow you to like that, right? It'll reset itself and won't allow you to pull it forward. I just happen to be really close. I'm just going to go to the middle here, not risk kind of getting in the, but like if you're not that far from the middle, you should be able to come in. And it's weird though, it doesn't want to pull forward, it only wants to pull back, which is very odd. But once you get that done, I'm going to come into my level 1 plan, and I'll go to view, 3D view. Let's take a look at what we kind of have. Maybe make this guy big. minimize that. Let's go. And if I go to shaded, and let's set our eye elevation a little low, about 2 feet, right? So we're kind of looking up at it. And then you can kind of see, right, that guy going into it. Yeah. Okay, so I think that's the easiest way. If you rerun the Dynamo definition, you're going to have to re-pull these guys back, because it'll replace them again. It'll redo them to the maximum size. But I think that overall is easier than just that little bit of manual. The other thing that's kind of nice about it is that you have access to kind of all of the you know other things that go along, and they actually are in the project, so you have a little bit more flexibility with that. Um, but anyway, that's what I got.